Having entered all my predecessors, and I can see these are all finish start predecessors because they're pure numbers, I can now look at my project summary task in row 0, and I can see the duration of my entire project at the moment is 97 days. What I might like to do, step 11, is to change some of the relationships from finish start to start starts. For example, I'm going to click on invitation list, and then on my task tab in the ribbon and in the editing group, I'm going to scroll to this task. And I can see the bar here in my Gantt, and this is a finish start. When determined budget finishes, then invitation list will start. What I'd like to do is change this relationship to a start start. By changing it to a start start, both tasks will start at the same time, which will actually save me 1.5 days and bring my project duration down. One way to do this is to double click the arrow that exists between two tasks. Immediately this task dependency window comes up and it tells me the type of relationship I currently have is a finish start. If I click this drop down, I can change it to a start start, which is an SS, and I'll click OK. Now both tasks are starting at the same time, and I can see the duration of my project has dropped by 1.5 days because both of these tasks are now starting at the same time. I can also look in my predecessor column, and I now have 3 SS instead of just 3. So I've changed the relationship from a finish start to a start start. If I double click the arrow again, I can change it back to a finish start. And OK. And now I've increased my duration again by 1.5 days. It's quite tricky sometimes to aim at this little arrow with your mouse, so I prefer to edit the predecessor column directly. For example, if I want to change a start-start relationship for all the tasks underneath selection, I'll first of all go down to selection, which is in this particular row here. In row 7, I can see that site has a finish start relationship with date, and I want these two tasks to start at the same time, rather than wait and have a finish start relationship. So I'll click on the 6, I'll press the key F2, which is edit, and I'll type SS and press enter. Both tasks now start at the same time, and I've saved myself a considerable amount of time because of that. Other types of relationships include a finish-finish. For example, if I go back to this 6SS, press F2, and change the SS to an FF, they will both finish at the same time. And you can see this is shown here. If I go back to the 6 and press F2, I can change it to a start-finish relationship, which means that this task will start when this task finishes. I find this very confusing to read. I'm going to change this back to 6, and then I've just changed it back to a finish-start relationship. What I'd like to do is actually make this a start-start, so I'll press F2 and I'll hit SS. I also want costumes to start at the same time as date and site, so I'll press F2 and I'll add an SS after 7. And now all 3 tasks are starting at the same time, and now instead of my project taking 97 days, it takes 84.5 days. I'd like to put some more starts in. For example, the 2 tasks under hire, I'd like them to start at the same time, and I can see over here in my Gantt that when one finishes, the next one starts. So I'm going to press F2 on the 10 and change this to a start-start, and now they both start at the same time. I'd also like to make a start-start under rent equipment, so I'm going to change 16, F2, to an SS, and 17, F2, SS. Also under Meet with Caterer, I have 2 tasks, the menu selection and the drink selection. I'd like them to happen at the same time. Now just to be doubly sure that this is working properly, I'm just going to click the scroll to task button so I can see the bars in my Gantt. And I want these 2 to start at the same time. So I'll press F2 and SS. And now they're starting at the same time. And finally, under hire personnel, these 3 tasks here, such as bartenders, photographers and cleanup crew, I want them all to start at the same time. So I'll press F2 on 23 and I'll add an SS. And on 24 I'll press F2 and add an SS there as well. Starts are considerable time savers. So now when I look at my project summary task in row 0, I can see what was once a duration of 97 days is now cut down to 73.5 days. So consider the relationships that you have and whether they should be changed to starts, finish, start, finish, or to the default, which is a finish start.